All right, so before we get started today, I'm just going to go ahead and pay our insurance copay, make sure we don't owe any money on all that fuel we've been using and stuff on the engine. And then I figured, we've been doing these freight hauls for a while. It would be nice to get a new license. So I'm going to go ahead and get our first license today. That's going to be the shunting license. And we are going to do some shunting jobs. Now, I read in the release notes for Build 99 that one of the things that's changed is that the positioning of stuff on these shelves is permanently stored. So just trying to figure out, I know there's one of these buttons that'll put this item, let's see here. One of these buttons will put the item on this shelf with like a precise location, and it'll, that's not the one. And it'll stay there permanently, so we can just leave our license and walk away. And that's what I'm trying to find here. Let's see. Which button is it? Ooh, that one. All right, there we go. License on the shelf. Okay, so let's go find a job. This one is 340 tons. That's too heavy. Ooh, this one. This should be that same load that we hauled down from the machine factory in town last time. So I think those are the same. Let me just look at, yeah, there's 4 of them, right? Yeah, and they're the same colors. Okay, so I'm pretty sure these 4 cars are the same ones we hauled in last time. So this seems like a good job to do today. We'll do some shunting. We'll unload those very same cars we brought in. So step 1, get them from A6I. That's where we left them last time. Then we're going to go to A7L and unload. Then some of them are going to 4S, 3S, and 5S. Okay, so we're going to have to drop them off in slightly different locations. But step 1 is to take that very same train and just bring it over to A7L to unload it. So that seems like a good place to start. All right, so I'm just checking out A4S. That's not this gray car. That's going to be those 2 on the end there. And then 3S is going to be that brown one. And then 5S is going to be this one. So basically we're dropping them off kind of in reverse. But that's good, right? Because we want the cars that are furthest away from the engine, we want to be the ones we drop off first. So we can just pull the rest of the train away with the remaining cars and then drop those off and so on. So this is actually good. This is good. Getting everything coupled up, we're releasing the handbrake. And as always, we're hopping in the engine here. And we're going to turn everything on, start everything up. So get all the electrical, start the engine, release the handbrake, get the brake pipe connected, reverser, and marker lights. All right, so we are ready to move. Step 1, go to track A7L. That's the track right there to my left. And we're going to unload these cars. So that's what we're going to do first. And yeah, should be good. And, I am hauling about 224 tons here. So definitely a little bit of inertia. It's taking us a moment to start up. But yeah, we're getting movement. That's awesome. And as I said, this is a pretty simple job, at least the first part here, right, is we're just going down to that junction straight ahead and flipping it, and then we will be backing up into the track right next to us. And then, if you haven't seen it yet, I guess I will show you how the loading and unloading works in the Derail Valley. It's really pretty magical and basic, but, it gets the job done. So, for now, just, another moment of this, and we'll get over there onto track 7L. All right, time to start slowing down. That's our junction right there. And with all the inertia we have, it's going to take us a moment to actually come to a stop. So we're going to go ahead and get us started here. And I think we're just about past this way. Well, maybe we still have another car too. So let's ease off on the brake. I personally have a really hard time with this perspective of actually telling if we're far enough. Maybe that's just because my eyes are chronically broken. They have been my whole life. That's why I wear glasses. So, but yeah, there we go. I think, yep, we're definitely clear of that. So that's good. Change the lights to indicate we're going in the opposite direction now, and give this thing just a little bit of power. We are kind of on an uphill here a little bit, so definitely takes a moment to get it started in this direction, but there we go. Okay, so backing up into track A7L. I'm pretty comfortable we can coast the rest of the way here at this point, so we're releasing the throttle. We're even going to start braking just a little bit. Don't want to go too fast into the end buffer there. I think we still have a bit of distance, but last thing I want is to run into the buffer too fast and cause a derailment. So we're going to take it nice and gentle here. And let's see. Yeah, we still got a while here. And you might see there's like a little gray box kind of there over there next to the track. That's where we're actually going to go to perform the unloading operation, but I'll show you that in just a moment. Definitely feeling the dark and dingy mood here at the steel mill. It's clearly the middle of the night, and thankfully there's a lot of industrial lighting, a lot of those overhead lamps in the yard and stuff, because otherwise it would be pretty dang hard to see at this point. Definitely dark outside. Alright, I feel pretty comfortable where we're at right around now, so gonna let this thing come to a stop, and I'm gonna kill the engine because we're not gonna need that for a minute, so might as well not waste fuel. Alright, so we need to head over to this thing like I said before, and you'll see as I come up to it, there's a lever. You flip it one way to unload, the other way to load, and that's it. Boom, there you go. That has now been unloaded. And so these first two cars are going to A4S. I'm going to hop back in the cab and let's see. Get this thing started back up. Set the lights correctly. Might as well give the headlight a little bit of high beam here because it is getting real dark. And there we go. And as you can see in the actual cars, the cars are now empty. There's nothing in them. So it did in fact unload. That is how that works. And I can definitely also feel it because these cars are lighter now. We're moving a lot quicker. So cool. A4 is where we're taking the first two rearmost cars of this train. We're going to park those up over there. Should be good. And this thing right here is the coal loading tower, right? So if you're running a steam engine, which, you know, maybe we'll do at some point in the future, I guess this is where you refuel it. I actually don't think I've run steam in Derail Valley yet. I'm terrified of the idea because I've looked at a couple of videos online, and it seems mighty difficult to get a steam engine running just the way you want. You know, just the right water pressure, just the right amount of steam, all that. Diesel is nice and easy, you know, you just flip the switch and you go. So, but yeah, that's the coaling tower. That's where we would get coal if we were running steam. All right, I am just about past this switch again, which I need to go back. So we're gonna bring this thing to a halt. There we go. And yeah, cab light. It's definitely an appropriate time for cab light. It's real dark. So let's see here. We're gonna set this thing in reverse. Flip the lights like we always do. We're gonna see. Yeah, you can't really do high beams because they're blocked by the car right behind me, I guess. So as we're backing up, lighting is not really an option, but you know, it'll be okay. Alright, so looking at our next moves here, we want to pass this switch. This one was the one that gets us into 7L. This next one gets us into tracks 6 and 5, so we want to pass that one as well. And then the next one gets us into 4 and 3, so we want to take that turn there. And then specifically we want to go into track 4, so that means we need the next right there as well. Now, I'm struggling to see. I think there might already be something in that track over there. Just turning on the light here, turning off, sorry, the light might help me. Yeah, I think there's something there. So we want to be nice and gentle as we go into that track because we don't want to couple too hard. You know, as we kind of gently bump into those cars that are already there and fit these cars onto that track. So nice and gentle as we go into 4S here. I realize it probably sounds like a broken record at this point, but I find it really challenging, especially in the dark, to see from this perspective, you know, how far is far enough, how far is too far, as far as we just want to make sure we touch those other cars that are currently on the track, but we don't want to bump them too hard. And I'm just really struggling, especially because those are flatbed cars. You don't have any, you know, height to work with as far as telling where it is. It would be a lot easier if it was a taller car, you know. You can kind of see the back of it, but we're going to do our best here, just gently inch towards this and see. Alright, I heard something that sounded like a squeaking brake. Like I probably hit that other car and it has the handbrake enabled, and so we were kind of pushing against that brake. So I think we're good. Gonna run up here and see what we're looking at. Alright, yep, we have contact, so that's good. These two cars, yep, those are the two that are staying here. So I'm gonna apply the handbrake on this one and unhook the air hose here. There we go, get the coupler. Alright, so these two cars are staying right here, and the next two are coming away with me. Now, the next car here is just going right over there to track A3S, so it's a very small move. We just need to pull forward a little bit here so we can switch that track. And then we're going to take the rearmost of the two cars that we're currently pulling with us, and it needs to go into that track there. What's worth noting, you know, as I'm looking at the track, those flatbed cars that are currently stick out pretty far. So we might in fact need to push those cars backwards together with the one car we're going to be leaving there. Because otherwise I think it's going to stick out too far. That's not going to work. But let's see. Here we are. Okay. Flip that switch. And yep. And we will start pushing this backwards. Again, we don't want to go too hard because those cars are right there and we just need to touch those. So nice and gentle and just see if we can suss out the point at which we're touching. I didn't hear anything, but it seems like we kind of slowed down. So, yep. Okay, we did touch. We just, yeah. We're going to hook these up here. And we're going to release the handbrake because I am convinced I need to push this further back for this to work. So, now that we have the whole consist hooked up with those extra flatbeds, we can push backwards a little bit here. Oh, here's something that sounds like a handbrake. But let's see. Yeah, I don't love that grinding sound. Well, let's see here. We might already be far enough back that this might be good enough at this point. Alright, let's go have a look. Yeah, I feel okay about that. So I suspect that maybe there is one or more cars even further back than the ones we hooked up, and those still had their handbrake set, but yeah, it's fine at this point. So there we go with that. Okay, last car is going to 5S, so that is back over where we started. Well, right next to where we started. It's the track in that second track pair there. So we'll get a little bit of speed here, and we'll go over to that next track section for that. Alright, so as we're coming up on the switch here on our left, we can start to slow down. We're going to need to flip that switch and push backwards over there, and then we want to go to the left over there. That's track 5. The right is track 6, and that's where we started. So, yeah. Okay, get everything lined up here, and a little bit of throttle. We're almost there. Let's see. No. It doesn't matter. So the reason I'm flipping that switch is because at night, so the light has 3 different settings, right? There's like normal kind of running light. There's a bright, and then there's an extra bright, which I guess you could think of as like night light and high beam, or whatever you want to think of that as. But unfortunately, although perhaps somewhat realistically, when I'm coupled up to the car, if I turn the light that is pointed right at this car, even up to the highest setting, it still doesn't shine past the car. I feel like they changed that. I feel like in older versions, you could definitely get the light to kind of clip a little bit and actually give you some visibility past the car, even though in reality your light bulb is basically pointing right at that car. So it makes sense that it shouldn't illuminate the surrounding area all that much, but it is what it is. Anyway, so no lighting. Here we are. Okay, we are just about to be there, and again, just like before, I see there is already a car there on track 5, but we should be okay to squeeze this in somehow. So let's just take it nice and gentle and couple up to that, and we'll see what's what. My old nemesis perspective strikes again. I'm just trying to figure out how close I am to that car, but it's really hard to tell. Yeah, especially here from this angle. I think we're getting close though. So I do know that later in the game, I haven't gotten there yet, but later in the game, there's now some gadgets in B99, which weren't here before. So maybe I can find a gadget at some point that'll help me with this age-old problem of not being able to tell how much further I have to go. But at this point, I definitely felt that we suddenly started losing speed, so I think that means we've hit the car that was already there on the track. So I'm just resetting all the controls back to normal here, as I always do. And we're gonna rock outside here. We're gonna set the handbrake on that. Uncouple here, the air hose, and then the coupler. And now we should be good. So I'm just gonna run over to the station building real quick and we will be done. All right, here we are back at the station office once again. We're gonna pull out that order. We're gonna put in the machine. There you go, made it well within the bonus time. So that is it for today. Thank you for joining and I'll see you next time.